is one question that most of us ask each other all the time. And that question is, where are you going? And you probably heard that question on the way here to church. And if I ask you this same question right now, the answer should sound like, we are going to trial, or we have a trial to attend. And that is true, because that's where we are going, all of us. We are going to judgment, the trial of eternity before the all-seeing judge. And no matter whether we are good or bad, in a state of grace or of mortal sin, no matter if our case is good or not, no matter if our case is just or unjust, we all are going to judgment. All going to the great trial in which every living soul, each man, each woman, each child, shall present themselves, and God, the judge of all, shall sit upon the great white throne to judge everyone. When will that trial day come? No one knows, not even the angels, our Lord says. Judgment will come suddenly. Now, time has been given us simply to pacify the judge and to do penance for our sins. That's all we do in life. Nothing else. Nothing else. And so, every day of our lives that we have been given by God, each one of those days has brought its blessings, its graces that we were supposed to be using every day. At the same time, we have God has destined for us a certain amount of penance that we should have done each one of those days. If we waste our time, we waste those graces, those benefits from God's grace, and we do not do that amount of penance we were supposed to have done during those days. See? That is why the moment comes either for us to do something about it, or God is going to do it himself. And I could tell you the reason for so many illnesses, accidents, deaths, suffering, pain. Because the amount, the sum of the debt became so large, and we didn't do anything on time. And so God has to do something from time to time to balance the whole thing. See? So if I ask you, what do you do in life? You would have to say, all I do is to pacify God and to do penance for my sins. So if you like or dislike something, is entirely irrelevant. Once you know God's will, you should do it. That's all you need to do. The rest is, as I said, irrelevant. Nothing else matters. So, when men are eating and drinking and marrying, buying and selling, burying the dead, or laboring, or praying, walking or sleeping, then there will be a cry heard, "Behold the bridegroom, he comes. Go forth and meet him." Go forth just as you are, just as that moment finds you, without a moment more to prepare, without an instant in which to say, "God have mercy." So that's what we're going to try. And we are going to meet a certain amount of accusers at that moment. To the right, our accusing sins. To the left, a crowd of evil spirits bearing witness against us. Below, the open abyss of hell. And within, our conscience. Before us, the judge. See? Now, the Gospel says that Jesus said these words for today's Gospel to console his disciples. I mean, it would be a cruel thing for you to hear, just to hear the account of the Last Judgment for any reason whatsoever. So there is a purpose for us to hear it. Now, if Jesus said these words to console his disciples, do you think it is also a consolation for us to hear these words today? How is the white garment that God gave you on the day of your baptism? If we are not able to answer these questions well, positively, confidently, then it may mean that we are going to have a problem at our trial. So, how are you in God's sight? Are you in a fit state to appear there? The thought of judgment fills even the just with apprehension. Even the saints were afraid of it when they thought about it. St. Ephraim says, "When I think of Judgment Day, fear comes over me." St. Bernard says, when the day of judgment comes, the book is opened, where all my thoughts, words, and actions are recorded, I shall stand with guilty conscience before the judge, trembling with fear, remembering all the sins committed against the Lord. If these holy men feared and trembled at the thought of appearing before the judgment seat of God, how much more reason to fear that judgment have we, who do not always serve God as we should, who so frequently offend Him? Many even never think of the judgment because they believe it is too far away. And they expect to find time to prepare for it and thus hope to escape punishment. But the thing is that no one knows when this last day will come. But today, out of God's mercy, we have been given another day, and perhaps tomorrow. I mean, you've seen friends, relatives, co-workers, neighbors who have not been given another day. So, suppose a man on death row, the judge judge comes to him and says, I'm going to give you another day. Do you think that day is going to be a burden for him? So how is it that we can spend that day doing nothing? Or worrying about things that are simply useless? So when you leave the church today, after Mass, look up to the heavens. You will see that the clouds are not there yet, that the sun is not yet darkened, that we'll still have time. We still have time. But the day of judgment will come, for Jesus has told us so. And as he says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall never pass.